Hello Year 2, you ready for some maths now? So we're going to continue with our measure units, but this time we're looking at mass. So you did your lesson without me yesterday, but I don't think it was too tricky. I think you were absolutely fine. So you can warm up with counting in fives today. Do some counting in fives. You can use the link there for the song. You can also look at the 5 times table. Do need to scroll along until about 9 minutes. That's when the 5 times table starts because it has all the times tables in it. Okay, and as well as that, you can go on to TT Rockstars. If you think that your child has grasped it in order, go on TT Rockstars and do random times tables and see how they get on there. Okay, so after you've done your warm-up of counting in fives, it's time to measure mass using non-standard units. So just like before, when you looked at measuring length and you used sticks and you used cubes to measure the length of things, we're going to use the same sort of non-standard units for measuring mass. Okay, so remember, mass is how much matter something contains, and the more matter it has, the heavier it is. So an elephant has a lot more matter than the mouse. Do take care though, because just because things are bigger doesn't mean that they are heavier, because you've got to think about the amount of matter on the inside as well. So like a blow-up beach ball, pretty big, but it's full of air inside, it's hollow. Okay, and then you have quite a small golf ball that's a lot smaller than that beach ball, but it would be heavier because it's solid matter on the inside. Okay, so that's mass. Balance scales, called this because they balance. Okay, non-standard units, so things that you could use to weigh things are cubes, buttons, marbles. Okay, weighing with those balance scales. So as well as using the scales like you did yesterday to see if things are heavier or lighter, a bit like a seesaw, okay, because if you've ever been on a seesaw with an adult and they get on it, it goes right down, doesn't it, on the adult side because they're heavier than you and you're left dangling up here because you're lighter. So it will show you whether they're heavier or lighter. But balance scales can also be used to see how much something weighs. So when they are level, that means that they are equal. The weight is equal in them. Okay, so balance means equal or the same mass. So you can see that there, that the present is equal to the 5 cubes. Okay, so you could say that the present weighs 5 cubes. So to recap, these are called balance scales. If the one side is higher up, then that means that whatever is in that side is lighter than the other side that's lower down. That means it's heavier. Okay, when the scales are level, that means that the items in them are weighed the same. Okay, so they balance. That's why they're called balance scales. So we can calculate weight using non-standard units such as blocks or cubes. So it says to circle the mass of the cake. So there's a cake and you can see that the other side is exactly the same because the scales are balanced, which means the cake weighs that many cubes. So count the cubes carefully. How many cubes does the cake weigh? Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So out of these answers, the answer is 5 cubes. And it tells you to circle it. So put a circle around it. That's very straightforward. Then for the practice it says circle the mass of the yo-yo. So again, you can see that these scales are balanced. So that means that the yo-yo is equal to the amount of cubes on this side. So you just need to count them. That's very straightforward. What is the mass of the cake? So again, count the cubes and say how many cubes. Let's see if you're right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. 3 cubes is the weight of the yo-yo, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubes is the weight of the cake. Okay, so this is what you need to do to be successful in your work today. Count the non-standard units accurately. So don't get carried away. So this is easy and count them really quickly and then make a really daft error. Okay, read the questions carefully because although they started off quite simple, there are some a little bit trickier questions nearer the end. Explain your working using the sentence stems. So we keep talking about these sentence stems. It's because we're trying to get you to be able to explain your understanding in lots of different ways. Okay, so it's time for the do it. I'm going to read it to you, but I'm sure you can do it absolutely fine on your own. Okay, so it says, what is the mass of the ball? Write how many cubes. What is the mass of the bird? Count the buttons and write how many buttons. The next do it says, which object weighs less than the toy? Okay, so this time you're not looking at how many grapes the toy weighs. You want to find which of these objects weighs less than the toy. So you need to find out how many it weighs and then tick or circle the one that weighs less. Okay, so I'll just highlight the fact that you're looking for less there. What is the mass of 2 sets of paint? That's important, okay? Not 1 set of paint, 2 sets of paint. Okay, and then how many acorns is it equal to? To secure it, shows you here that 1 big cube equals 4 small cubes. So the peach is equal to a big cube and the apple is equal to 4 small cubes. You can see that because they are balanced, so that means they're equal, they're the same. Now, Amir says the apple is heavier than the peach because it weighs 4 cubes. Teddy says the apple and the peach weigh the same. Who do you agree with? Explain why. So I've given an example sentence stem here that you could use. I agree with which one? Because. So that's off this list of sentence stem. I used this one. Okay. You don't have to use that one, but I'm just giving you an example. And then the deepen it, this is your last thing for today, is how many cubes does the teddy bear weigh? Explain how you know. So look carefully at the picture and see if you can work that out. All right. You have to look very carefully at the picture. And that's it for today. And we would like you to send this work in to us today. We want you to send in your maths, and if you would like to also send in that picture of those 5 objects you found around your house, ordered from the lightest to the heaviest, there's a little bit of an extension for you today, okay? This is just, again, an example. I put if. So if you know something, then you also know something else. That's what you could use to help you with this one, or you can pick one of the other sentence stems off of the list. Okay, I'm sure you'll be fine with that.